So we're up to issue 6 or book 6, I guess, of Danger Street. And I love this cover. This is the variant cover. This is so cool. This has got to be one of the coolest covers I've ever seen. So obviously it's supposed to look like Darkseid with Fruit Loops, and it's got with Omega 3, and it even says enlarged to show detail. Now the cover looks kind of damaged, but it is not. It is made to look like a box that has been worn away a little bit. But this is the variant, and I love the price tags on there. So I'm not going to avoid spoilers because there's just not a lot to talk about if I avoid spoilers, and I'm going to go through the book. So if you are reading the series and you haven't read this issue yet, then maybe don't watch it. So anyway, where we left off is Starman and Warlord are trying to bring good looks from the Dingbats back to life, and they have failed. Warlord is now in a hospital because he got in a car accident, and I don't remember if I think I've mentioned before, but it is being narrated by the helm of Naboo, Dr. Fate's helmet. We're continuing to have Manhunter, who is attempting to apparently kill all of the members of the Green Team. The Green Team they were good guys in the first issue. Whatever you call it, that series from the 1970s, first issue special. They were good guys, but here they are clearly bad. They're not only bad to other people, but just vicious to each other. So this is Abdul. He is the one of the members. I believe Manhunter's now killed too. It's a little surprising because they seem to be the villains of the story, and yet Manhunter is just kind of plowing through them. Abdul, it was a little bit different. The Green Team, they were kind of, I don't know if they were inheritors of wealth, but they were all of them were white, except for Abdul. Abdul was different in that his money came to him through an accident. But however, he got $500,000 and then took that $500,000 and was able to double it very quickly. So it wasn't that he had no business savvy and just lucked into it. So he was able to double the money. But I like this. So Manhunter comes in and he's so all the profanity is you're gonna have to fill it in yourself, which was kind of interesting because I was like, why doesn't Black Label just do it? But I guess that must be Tom King's decision because the recent Peacemaker comic had profanity in it. Did I forget to put on the Don't Disturb? I love this scene. He just blasts Manhunter because he's not like the rest of them. He says, you get yours by finding oil or discovering starlets. You spend your life looking and hoping soft is just what you got to be. So he's basically putting down the other members of the Green Team. He's not soft like them. Unfortunately for him, Manhunter is not soft either. And so Manhunter just rips the gun out of his hand because apparently he's bulletproof. And Abdul just jumps out a window and he lands in a pool and says, hunt this, and gives him the finger. So he managed to get away from Manhunter, at least temporarily. We get another scene with Cop Lady and Manhunter, and that is literally her name. And then we go back to the cosmic level threat. So we have just this kind of murder. Well, it's not a murder mystery. We know how Good Looks died, but this very small kind of story. And then we have apparently saving the universe from this because Atlas died. And in Greek mythology, Atlas was the one who held up the heavens. So apparently the heavens are going to fall. A Starman, which is the Starman is the name of obviously a famous character from the Legion of Superheroes, but also this character here and this Starman from first issue specials. They didn't really spell out how strong he was in the original series, in the original one issue. But apparently he's a Superman level character because he took on Orion and kind of won the fight. And I've always considered Orion to be a Superman level character. And so he was knocked unconscious, and the dingbats brought him back, and they've tied him up. And I was sitting there thinking, because he's threatening the comatose Starman to shoot him and just kill him. And I was thinking, well, there is no way they could possibly hurt Starman if Starman is really that strong. And Tom King, I'll give him credit. The guy's a smart writer. And so I was like, I don't see him overlooking that. I don't think they can hurt him, regardless of all their threats. This is for good looks, you bleep. And but Low-Fat cannot bring himself to murder him without when he's still asleep. So he decides to just, they take him, and they're gonna take him and put him in another room by himself, tied up. We're back to Abdul. Abdul has been, all his money has been wiped out, or the Commodore, who is the leader of the Green Team, has basically cut him off completely. So he's going crazy, and he's the profanity's flying. He wants his money. Even his phone service has been cut off. And so Commodore is just leaving him high and dry to get killed by Manhunter, because, like I said, they are vicious even to each other. We're still going through, and they're trying to, I guess, do something to save the universe. Darkseid and Highfather are working together, doing something. Get back to Abdul. Abdul's trying to go meet the Commodore, and he's just thrown out on his butt. And he is mad. He is furious. And this, I love. That's another scene that I love. This was maybe my favorite comic in the series thus far, even though on Comic Book Roundup, which is an aggregate site for comic reviews, it has the lowest. It's an 8.1, which is a very solid score, but that's the lowest of any comic on very few reviews. So finally, Starman wakes up, and he's just overhearing the dingbats in there talking about a video game. And I love this part. He just effortlessly breaks their ropes because they're nothing to him. I love how this is drawn. You can tell that he's putting no effort in. It's just snap. And he gets up. And so this is the last we see. This is, and I'm really looking forward to issue 7 to see where it goes. And Starman has been a really good guy. He did not, I'm trying to remember if he's even the one who killed Good Looks. He might have been, but he did, and he's been so filled with guilt because he never meant to do it. If he was even the one that did it, I can't remember. A little bit more with the Helm of Naboo. And then Abdul is going, and he goes to this woman, and he's like, please let me in there. He said, Mary, please just let me in, and I can explain, I can help. If you marry, I got money. And she finally relents and gets in. And so one of the things that's been going on in this series has been talking a lot about the Outsiders. And this is the group of Outsiders from first issue special, which were a group of, as they said in the comic, freaks. Physical freaks. And they've been mentioned many times, but we've never seen them. And so I was wondering whether they were really going to show them as they were in the original comic books, the original first issue series, not comic books, one comic. So finally he's brought in, and we see the Outsiders, which is pretty much how they were in the original series. So they are freaks. That's what it says. So finally we get to halfway through the series, and we get to see the Outsiders. And then each issue ends with kind of a closing summary. So this is definitely my favorite series going on right now from DC. I only collect a few, so it's not like I judging this against all the other series, but I would judge it against other series I've seen, and I think it's a great series. I'm really enjoying it, and I definitely would get this. Hopefully they're going to do a hardcover version of this, and I would get that because I think it's a great series. I continue to support Tom King and the stuff he's doing because I think he's a superior writer. And so anyway, that is Danger Street number 6 with one of my new all-time favorite covers.